Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your main theme for 2026 reading. We are going to look at the main theme for your year, and we're going to go into detail. I am going to do some more 2026 readings where we're going to go more in depth into other things. But for now, this is what we're doing. You have this Capricorn card. It says challenges. It says it will not always be easy, but if you build discipline, you will achieve your goals. Yes. You have this wealth of knowledge card. It says connect to the knowledge in your soul to teach and help heal the world. So yes, I think what's crazy is I could be wrong, but I think Libra either had that exact same card or something similar, which is interesting. So, again, because I just did Libra, and so that's why people always ask me, yes, I shuffle these decks in between readings, and there you go. There's a repeat card, so I'm pretty sure they had something very similar. But what I would say for you is discipline is the key word for you, for sure. Saturn is going back into your sign this year. It's retrograde in Pisces right now, but in 2026, in February, at the end of February, it moves back into Aries. So discipline is going to be critically important for you, Aries, because, Saturn wants you to be disciplined. I kind of just feel just in general that it's really about mastery for you here, Aries. So you could be mastering a craft, mastering a new idea, mastering business, mastering love. It doesn't even matter what it is. But I feel like that is your theme for 2026. And, I feel that will be a good thing for you to work on is picking one thing and making it happen. The challenge for you this year, I feel, just looking at your astrology, is that you're probably going to have 20 ideas to work on in general in your life. I wouldn't even actually limit you to one. I would say maybe two. I think it would be better for you to pick one or two main ideas that you're going to focus on, especially if we're talking about, opportunities in work or business. I think that would be good. I think what will be bad is if you try to do 20 things at once, right? The first card, my intention for this Celtic cross style reading is that the first card, it normally represents how you're entering into the reading, but we're going to say that this first card represents your main theme, and the rest of the reading are kind of the supporting elements to the main theme. So we have the Hangman. The Hangman says that you've probably already seen something from a different perspective. You have a new perspective on, something in your life. Intuitively, I feel for a lot of you, it's how you work or the work that you're going to be doing in life, maybe for a long time to come as well. And I feel that, again, your next step is to master whatever that is. So if you have a different approach for business or career or whatever you're doing, it's time to put that out into the world. I feel like the Hangman, of course, is saying you're ready. The Hangman is necessary. Sometimes we have to put ourselves in Hangman mode so that we can gain enlightenment. But now he has gained enlightenment, so it's kind of time for him to move forward, right? And the funny thing is that you have the Two of Wands as your crossing energy. So the crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you in the Celtic cross. And I feel that this is kind of a little bit of both here, Aries. I think this would help you if you got out into the world and you started expressing whatever the Hangman is trying to express, right? He's staying stuck in a comfort zone, and he has the whole world in his hands. You also have the Seven of Cups in the past. I actually really like the Two of Wands with the Seven of Cups in a reading, because the Two of Wands wants us to experience variety, and so does the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups says there is a variety of things that you can do in your life, right? The thing that I always say about the Two of Wands is, imagine if you have only ever had salt and pepper your entire life on your food, and then you traveled to Morocco where there's a billion spices, right? Your mind would be freaking blown, Aries. And so the Two of Wands really wants us to do things to blow our own mind. And that's what I would do. But this isn't just going to magically happen, right? You have to go put yourself in unique situations. You have to maybe go on adventures or travel or go learn new things. Again, you can do this from the comfort of your own home, right? You can learn things on the internet. I just watched a podcast this morning that blew my freaking mind, right? And it just popped up. It just stood out to me. It was interesting. It was something I don't even care about, which is AI, which I think is going to probably kill us all, but whatever. So, but it was interesting nonetheless, right? And so we can do this from the comfort of our own home. And I would become a little bit more of an explorer this year if I were you, Aries, because, again, I think that expanding your mind is going to be the thing that gets you out of whatever this comfort zone is. Next, in the area of your thoughts, you have the Strength card. This is what's on your mind, and it also represents your thoughts at this time, this position. And so the Strength card is a pretty good card to get in this position because this is her inner voice. This lion represents her inner critic or her inner demons. But she is getting the lion to submit to her. So she is taking control of that inner voice, and she's not allowing it to control her. I kind of feel this would be a good thing for you to work on just in general. Like, it might be a good activity for you to do every single day. I always remind people that she has to do this every single day. It's like those thoughts about yourself never go away. But she knows that whenever she has a negative thought about herself or about what she's working on, that she just needs to correct it. She doesn't have to be perfect. None of us are, right? I don't believe we have to be perfect with our thoughts. I think we just have to notice when we have a thought and we have to say, cancel. We have to cancel that thought and think a new one, right? And if we do that, we're good. In the area of your foundation, you have the Two of Swords. I just feel you're looking for a new foundation. The thing about the Two of Wands is that he has built a castle. The story of the card is that he's built a castle. He's standing on a solid foundation. He's being asked to expand his kingdom, but he's a little bit scared because he's like, I'm leaving behind my old kingdom. But really, that kingdom will still exist. He's just expanding it, right? The Two of Swords, kind of the same thing. She needs to go over here to this new island, and she needs to almost like expand her foundation. And she needs to see that there is this whole wide world out there that she can experience. And again, I think the key word for you here, Aries, is going to be variety. Experiencing variety, experiencing new things. It's going to be, it seems very exciting, and it is a big year for you. So, with Saturn and Neptune moving back into your sign. So I would get out there. I would explore. I would have, fun, do new things, all that. Next, in the area of your past position, this is the energy you are moving past. You have this Not For You card and this Serendipity card. You clearly could be leaving something in the past with the Not For You card. That card just says you are discovering that something is not for you. The Serendipity card is kind of like things falling into place. It's one of my favorite cards in this deck. And she is being lifted up by that 4-leaf clover. And so there could be some very lucky moments or some lucky things where you're falling into place that are falling into place in your life. But I also feel that you could be doing a lot of connecting the dots where you're seeing how things that have happened in your past are adding up to a big picture. But it's once you're able to connect those dots, then you can see what the next thing you're supposed to do is. And that's kind of the feeling I get here. Also in your past position, these two wanted to come out together, the Fool and the Seven of Cups. I feel like you're ready for a new beginning with the Fool. Again, I think that Saturn energy is a little bit like the striking of a match for you, Aries. Even though Saturn has already entered into Aries, it's going to be entering in February to stay, until it leaves in 2.5 years or so. And what I would say is that you definitely could be taking a leap of faith. This could be something that you've been thinking about over the past, several months in 2025, and now you're kind of more ready to take that leap of faith. Seven of Cups can be about being spoiled for choice. I do feel like some of you feel pulled between two worlds right now, Aries. It's I don't know how to say what I want to say, but it's almost like I see you kind of splitting between two things. It wouldn't surprise me if some of you literally are between two worlds, and I'll explain this. It's if you have a job and you have a side hustle, it's maybe your side hustle is successful enough now at this point for you to quit your job, but it's you're staying between those two things. The other thing that's popping into my head is two houses. It's maybe you're moving. Maybe you have moved, but you still have a house. I feel like someone out there does. And, it's you're kind of split between two things. Those are just two examples. It could be anything that is going on in your life right now, Aries. This is coming up in the past position, but obviously I'm recording this on just I don't know what today is, November 30th. It'll be published on December 1st. So again, it could be going on right now is what I'm trying to say, because we're not in 2026 yet. And, there's just something popping in my head about that. If you're split between two worlds or between two things, that, kind of fully committing to the new thing, I feel would be very beneficial for you. I'm not telling you what to do or anything, Aries, but, just something to think about. Next, in the area of your very near future, you have this look at the big picture card and this surrender to the divine card. Yes. I'm kind of surprised something like the Ten of Pentacles didn't come up for you in this reading. It might. We're going to clarify. But it wouldn't surprise me if it does show up, or like the Sun, or even like the Three of Wands or something. It would be nice, because I do feel this big picture energy. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that I've been saying this to you all year, 2025. I think I've been saying to you, because you know what's popping into my head? You've been getting the Star card with me, and I'm always telling you to zoom out, right, Aries? It's almost like you need to look down at something, from above. You need to look at the things you've done, because I feel there's something about that connecting the dots where it'll add up to a bigger picture for you. It's like if you look at everything you've accomplished or everything you've done, maybe you don't realize it right now, but if you look at what you've done, you might see the connections between all the things you've done in your life, and it might just give you an idea on like what you should be doing. And I feel like you should do that, right? Whip out a piece of paper, write down all your accomplishments. What is the similarity? That's what you need to do. Next, also in the area of your very near future, you have the Ten of Wands. I actually feel pretty good about this. I do feel like some people are going to be very busy, like the first few months, including December. Yes, I know this is for 2026. Yes, I know it's hard for some people to wrap their head around, but it's pretty freaking simple. From December until like March, basically, I would say that a lot of you could be getting pretty busy and doing a lot of work. It might like be a little bit of a burden in some ways, but really he's very close to achieving his goal. He's about to reach his home. So, like, I definitely wouldn't encourage you to burn yourself out. If you need to take a break, take a break. If you need to take a rest. But I kind of just feel like this is talking about hard work for the rest of until like March time. And I don't think you're necessarily going to stop after that, but it just seems to me like a match is being struck. When you strike a match, you have to light the fire, then you have to keep the fire going. But once it's going, it's pretty easy to keep it going once you get it going, right? And so I feel like that's what's happening with the Ten of Wands. Next in your outcome row, you have this unworthy card. It says, do you genuinely believe in your worthiness to attain the abundance you desire? Strength. You need to work on your thoughts with that strength card and believe that you can do what you're doing. You have this retirement card. It says working hard can be a thing of the past, right? and there you go. So again, I think you might be working a little hard at the beginning of the year, but it's like once you get something going, I think you're going to get something to the point where you're going to be in maintenance mode, right? Which is amazing when you get to a maintenance mode where you don't, it's like you still have to work, but you're just maintaining at that point. You're not having to like constantly try to get something like a fire lit, right? And I think this is very good here, Aries. I really like this for you, for sure. Over the next few months, in the area of the next few months, you have the Six of Cups. A lot of people have had the Six of Cups in this exact position, which is interesting for the next few months. I do feel like the universe wants people to be more playful and have more fun and to not be too serious. I've said it before, in 2025, that the energy is too serious. And whenever that happens, I do believe that the universe tries to get us to be more playful, to have more fun, to do more things that we love to do instead of like forcing ourselves to do things. So I think being playful is important. The other thing I would say is we have the South Node in Virgo still. South Node in Virgo, we have to be willing to break things. We have to be willing to be messy sometimes. Sometimes I think the Six of Cups can say that we are being too delicate. We're trying to be too careful. And like, I'm not going to lie. I do think mistakes maybe feel a little bit more serious right now. Because like if we make a mistake and we lose money, for example, money is tight right now, right? And so, that's just one example. And so I kind of feel like people are a little bit nervous to make a mistake. And I'm not encouraging you to make like gigantic mistakes, but I do think we need to be willing to be a little bit messy. We have to be willing to break things. I said to someone else in this set of readings that some of the best things ever created were mistakes. Chocolate chip cookies, super glue was a mistake, right? That someone made. So, it's like some great things have come from mistakes. And, again, like I'm not encouraging you to go lose $1 million. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about tiny little things, right? And so there you go. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, this is all relationships in your life. You have the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups can be disappointments and sadness. I do feel that you have had many disappointments and connections over the past many years here, Aries. I also feel it's something that you should be working on this year and probably for several years to come, that you could be working on your connections. It's about realizing that not everyone is going to burn you, but it's also, I think, for Aries, because you have this like authority energy that's coming in. Right? It's like, I think if you're truly going to be an authority in life, you have to understand that no one is going to care about what you're doing as much as you are. And that's perfectly fine, right? And they don't have to, right? And so it's about, number one, it's about learning how you can maybe get people to care. But number two, it's about just realizing that sometimes you have to work with people that just don't care as much, and you just have to work with it, right? And that's like a big theme, I think, for Aries for many years, really, that you will be realizing. But I also think you've learned enough to where you can invest in relationships if you pay attention, right? So people show you are who they are very quickly. I truly believe that. And so if you're paying attention, you will be perfectly fine. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Six of Pentacles. I feel pretty good about this because I feel like you feel balanced. I also feel that you feel like you're giving to the right things, right? He's giving to this person, not this person. I don't even think this is people, Aries. That could be part of it, but I feel like this is the things you give to, the projects you work on, the things you do for your health, like everything. It just feels to me like you feel like things are working, and I feel very good about that, Aries, for sure. Your outcome is the Knight of Pentacles, which is progress. So I do feel that you feel like you are making progress. And I feel like you're going to feel this right at the beginning of the year, almost, pretty quickly. You're going to feel progress. The thing about this year, 2026, this coming year, if you're watching this in December, is that we have to, it's like, I think that doing things that make us feel progress is going to make us feel more motivated. And so like maintaining motivation is popping into my head with that card. Can't make this up. With the Hangman and the Two of Wands, there you go. Told ya, big picture type of energy. I wanted the Ten of Pentacles to show up in your reading, so I'm happy that it did. But definitely focusing on the big picture is going to be important for you. And again, Ten of Pentacles is a very good card, but I don't think we ever just get something that shows up in the tarot, right? We have to build this right here. Busting out a piece of paper, writing down your accomplishments, looking at the connections, that is what will lead to you building your Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is your dream life. It is your, everything you want and desire. And, Uranus, we've had Uranus in Taurus for a long time. Uranus is retrograding in Taurus right now. In the springtime, it moves back into Gemini. I think you really have an opportunity to build something great here, Aries, if you do what I said. With the Strength card, you have the Knight of Swords. Yeah, I would be careful of rushing thoughts. Again, Uranus and Gemini. Uranus and Gemini will sextile Aries. And, people ask me all the time, how does a planet sextile a sign? Your natal sun is in Aries if you're watching this reading, chances are. Or you're in Aries rising. So at some point, depending on when you were born, doesn't really matter. Obviously, if you're born in the first 10 days, Deacon 1, you'll be hit by that Uranus and Gemini sooner than Deacon 2, the second 10 days, or Deacon 3, the last 10 days, right? But for the most part, Uranus and Gemini sextiles Aries. So what I would say here is that, I think for the next, until 2033, when Uranus leaves Gemini, it actually leaves Gemini in 2032, but it retrogrades back pretty quickly. And what I would say is that you might notice that you're having rushing thoughts, a lot of ideas, a lot of plans. And I think slowing those things down is going to be very important for sure. With the Two of Swords, you have the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, I think all your readings in 2026 are going, well, hopefully not, but, I think they're going to encourage you to leave something like that is a comfort zone. It's like you're in an egg right now, Aries. It's like what you're doing is probably working for a lot of you, maybe not all of you, but, in work and business and whatever you do, it's probably working. But I also feel that you're in the egg. You need to like hatch out of the egg and soar like a bird, right? It's like time to take something to the next level. This has been a big theme for you in 2025, and I think it will continue probably into 2026. Here you go. With the Fool and the Seven of Cups, you have the Star. I literally said the Star earlier in your reading because the Star, bird's eye view, right? We have this bird right here. This is the ibis, which is the bird of knowledge and wisdom. So the bird represents needing to rise above everything you've done, needing to look down, right? That was the feeling I got during the reading. I literally feel that will be the best thing for you. With the Ten of Wands, you have the Four of Cups. I would say, like, what is your grind right now? What is exhausting you? What is taking up too much time? It might not be that serious, but it still might be a little bit of a grind. How can you make it more efficient? How can you make it faster, better, more momentum? And again, I obviously don't know what you all do, so you're going to have to learn about it, right? But it's like, what can you do to enhance? Maybe that would be a good word for you for 2026 is enhancement. You don't have to change what you're doing, but how can you enhance it? How can you make it better? Are there tools that you could be using to get more attention on your business? Are there AI tools that you could use to make your job easier? Like, what is it? I don't know, but I think you could figure it out, Aries. I think you're smart enough, right, to go do a little research and figure out, like, what tool should I be using to make something to enhance what I'm doing right now. With the Six of Cups, you have the Ace of Cups. Could be a little bit of love. Again, these readings aren't meant to be love readings. You know, that, like I said, this is a main theme for 2026. But love could definitely support that main theme for sure. Like I said, probably next week or so, I'm going to be doing some more 2026 readings where we're going to look deeper into deeper topics. But so, you know, love might show up, of course. But I do think we are in a very heart-based time, as I've been saying for years. We have to really follow our heart. I think that flow and overflow is something that is critically important for most people. We have to find things that cause us to overflow because I think we need that momentum energy. When you're in the flow, I don't know. When I'm in the flow, that's where I get my best ideas. When I'm doing something that isn't work, right? When I'm doing something I love to do, like a hobby or going for a walk, that's where my best ideas come from. So I think we all need some sort of practice that causes us to overflow. And that's what I would focus on with that Ace of Cups. With the Five of Cups, you have the Nine of Wands. I actually don't feel too bad about this. You know, like I get healing energy here where it's like, yeah, maybe you are putting boundaries up against people. Maybe you're not letting people in too easily this year of 2026. Maybe even starting in December of 2025. You know, this could start sooner. But it's like maybe you are being a little bit more cautious, but I don't really feel that this is a totally bad thing, Aries. I feel that, you know, you're just maybe paying attention more to people that enter into your life. Maybe you're giving people a little bit more time to develop and to, like, show you who they are. And again, I think that's a good thing. With the Six of Pentacles, yes, you have the Page of Wands. I think I said that with the Six of Cups. I look at those two energies as somewhat similar. Page of Wands, he starts a journey and he does not care how he gets to the end. He just follows his enthusiasm. Again, this is going to be a very common theme probably in 2026. We need to kind of be willing to practice non-attachment. I have definitely probably said this to you before. I think the people who say, I need this to work this way are going to struggle in 2026. But if you say, I'm going to allow this to work in whatever way it wants to, then things will go very, very well. So, you know, practicing non-attachment is very good. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Tower. Could be some sort of shocking change in your life. I don't necessarily feel a Tower moment, but I do feel that you are entering into a new environment. You know, the Tower, those people have been ignoring reality for too long, and now they're being brought down to reality. So they are entering into a new reality. I feel that you are entering into a new reality here, Aries. Some of you could be moving as well. Next, you have this Affair card. This is actually a good card for love. So again, love is kind of popping up here. And again, a love connection could be a supporting element to you building mastery, which seems to be like your main theme for the year, like you're mastering a craft or something like that. And so if you do want love, you know, definitely could be support. You have the Submission card. Yes, this card reminds me of the Eight of Swords. There is a bird that is stuck in this cage. It's funny that I said you were stuck in an egg because, you know, this is kind of similar. It's like this bird maybe needs to fly, but this cage door is open. It could easily leave that cage and set itself free, but it has to do it. So I think a lot of you really, it's time to like spread your wings, so to speak here, Aries. You have this Practicality card. Yeah, keep it simple. even in 2025, the yearly readings I did for 2025, one of the main themes was keep it simple, right? And so if you're overcomplicating things, then you might struggle. But if you're keeping your projects, your businesses, your ideas, your health, if you just keep it simple, things will be simple. You have this convention card. Yeah, we have to break free from convention for sure. Uranus and Taurus. Uranus and Taurus can represent conventional thinking. Uranus and Gemini is very unconventional. And so, putting your thinking cap on, breaking free. Sorry, I'm going through puberty, right? So my voice is cracking. But anyway, what I would say here is that breaking free from convention, coming up with unique ways of doing things will be very helpful. You have this fortune card. Love it. You could be attracting your fortunes with that 10 of Pentacles, of course, here, Aries, and I would definitely focus on that. But this looks pretty amazing, Aries. I love it. So thank you for being here. Make sure to like, leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your month.